Alright, what is up everybody? My name is SOT Kaizen, otherwise known as I Am Kaizen, which is me, and we are back with another video. Today, we're going to be sharing my thoughts on the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 movie. I went to go see it on Thursday for the Scares and Thrills AMC exclusive screening, and I just kind of want to give my thoughts on what I think about the movie. First, we're going to dive into all non-spoilers. And then I'll put a little timestamp or a little cutoff point where we'll talk about spoilers. But before we do that, I want to share about some of the pickups I got. So this might end up making me a little biased into it because I am a little bit of a fan of the series, especially the games and the novels and the books, So yeah, I got myself one of the cupcake drinks. I found this thing to be pretty hilarious and reasonably priced, so I got my hands on one of these. It's pretty cool, looks exactly like Chica's cupcake, and I thought it's funny how one of the eyes doesn't move. One of my friends also got like one of them. A couple of my friends actually got some of them, and the eyes just doesn't move for this one, the left eye. But still really cool. I'm gonna share it real quick. It's a little drink topper. Oh, I just realized, look at the paint job, horribly done indeed. But yeah, little drink container, really cool though. But that wasn't the only thing I picked up. I am kind of a sucker for this stuff, so I also got my hands on the Five Nights at Freddy's Toy Freddy popcorn bucket. This thing is actually insane. So yeah, so basically for this thing, I believe the hat, pulls back, kind of whammed it open there. Gotta be careful on that, but this is where the popcorn goes. And then I believe, I don't know how you're supposed to eat it. I guess you're supposed to just shove your hand down there and just hope that it doesn't get hit on the side by all those electronic parts, you know what I mean? Don't get spring locked. But I thought this was really cool. The face mask is also detachable too. I'm not too exactly sure how to remove it, and I'm a little scared to try. I did manage to get the faceplate off, so this is what it looks like without it. Oops. And I also did get the batteries installed, so here are the glowing eyes.
Oh, I see that.
Overall, really cool. I love this.
I love it too. I love it.
Got my niece here with me too. She's watching me reveal all this stuff. And we got the Freddy Fazbear mask. Let's see a live reaction. More along the lines for me, my theaters rarely have this kind of stuff, and they sell out pretty often. So I just wanted to get my hands on some cool memorabilia before they sell out. Oh yeah, one last thing too. I got my hands on 3 different posters. Yeah, you guys are gonna call me some fiends. I'll do a little thing like right in front of me to show what the posters look like, because it'd be kind of too hard to like share it all in the view. But you know what? We're gonna try it though. We're gonna try it. Might be a dumb decision on my part, but oh yeah, it's a large poster, extremely large poster, and I'm probably gonna mess it up rolling it back up, but pray for me, gang. Oh lord, oh lord. Yikes. Kind of ruined it a little bit, but good thing we got 3, am I right?
Hi.
Alright, so starting off with the spoiler-free section, Five Nights at Freddy's 2 is an hour and 44 minutes, produced by Blumhouse and directed by Emma Tammy. The series takes place about 6 months, I want to say, 6 to 8 months after the first movie. It is a direct sequel was Josh Hutcherson reprising his role as Mike Schmidt, and Piper Rubio reprising her role as Abby, and also Elizabeth Lyle reprising her role as Vanessa, and of course the main man himself, Matthew Lillard, reprising his role as the Yellow Bunny, Springtrap. So I'm going to be jumbling in between the story, just so I don't really spoil some stuff, because the beginning starts with a flashback, and I don't want to really spoil too much about it if you don't really know the games and stuff like that, but it basically details one of the early victims of the killer, as otherwise known as Purple Guy or Springtrap. And I did want to talk about the fact that at the beginning, near the beginning of the movie, they have this paranormal team pop up, and they do a cool investigation, and it's kind of cliche, but I really like the fact that it reminded me a lot of the team from Resident Evil 7, and I'm gonna leave like a little thing right at the top here. But Resident Evil 7 kind of opened up a little bit. Well, not really opened up. I had like a midway point where they showed this other team going to explore paranormal situations, and they happened to stumble upon the FNAF 2 location. And I thought that was really cool. I like how they were able to incorporate the second building and make it into the main building while having the first one still be kind of like off in the same area. I thought that was really cool. And the crew behind it, the three actors, I forget their names, I apologize, but they did a phenomenal job doing their little ghost stunts and stuff like that. I also wanted to talk about some of the scares and horrors in there. There was a lot of great moments in there. Really surprised at the fact that this series got a PG-13 rating, mostly because there was a lot more animatronic like kills, I would say, and a lot more swearing, a lot more swearing compared to the first. So the fact that I got past the PG-13 rating was pretty surprising. Diving into some of the animatronics though, the animatronics were fantastic, probably the best they've ever done so far. The first movie was really just a stepping stone. After seeing they had more time to work with the animatronics and see them move around and do more stuff, it was phenomenal. I was really impressed that it was not really like stuttery or made them look like blocky or like CGI, you know what I mean? It looks like actual animatronics like doing their own thing, and I really gotta respect that. Talking a little bit more about the animatronics, I thought it was really cool how Matt Pat played Toy Bonnie, and Kellen Goff did the other ones like Mangle and Toy Freddy. Kellen Goff is a legend. I did not get the opportunity to meet him at NostalgiaCon this year, but I hope to next year. And also, I was really surprised that Megan Fox played Toy Chica, and she surprisingly had the most like lines out of everybody in the show or in the movie. So I thought that was really interesting. Not too much of a huge fan of her, but still pretty cool to see her in the movie at least. But she did not want any of her credits shown. I think even in the end credits, you could barely even see her. But yeah, I found this movie to be a cool new narrative and a little twist on the original lore. I was really concerned how they were going to be able to tie this all together into a second game, but I actually found this lore to be a lot more compelling than the game lore, because the game lore kind of goes back in time, while this one kind of takes a step further, while it progresses the new and mixes it with the old. I found the story to be way more compelling, with the fact that it actually kind of pushed forward with a lot of these ideas. I thought starting with a flashback was pretty good, giving the origins of said character, the Marionette, and then diving back into the modern day with Mike and Abby trying to deal with their everyday situation after the effects. And I love the fact that she is not afraid to spread the rumors about her friends, and the town still doesn't really know too much about it. And that also brings into the introduction of Skeet Ulrich, who plays Henry Emily. And I thought his role was phenomenal, a horror icon that I'm so glad to see a part of the cast, because I have a feeling that he could play a huge role into the future. And wrapping up the non-spoiler talk before I start diving into more spoilers, I just really liked the movie, to be honest. As a fan of the games, I thought there was a lot more interesting points that they could go forward into the future with the films, especially film number 3. Film number 3 seems like it could could be something really fantastic if everything can go right, and probably the most accurate of them all. But yeah, really good scares. Animatronics fantastic. Acting was a little meh, but overall, I definitely recommend it. Definitely really good. And then we're gonna dive into some spoilers now. Now for the spoiler section of the video, we're gonna start diving a little bit into the heavy spoilers about the whole movie. So if you don't want anything like that, definitely click off now. But yeah, here we go. So we are now gonna begin the spoiler section. Starting off, I wanted to say that the beginning with the backstory was really good, really good in my opinion. I found that one of how Charlotte managed to become the puppet a lot better than the game lore, because the game lore doesn't really describe how she gets like killed besides being seen outside. It's very like ambiguous of if it was really her, but assumptions are that it is, and the puppet crawls over her in the rain and then kind of like short circuits and saves her in a way. That one was a lot more like jumbled up, explaining how the marionette's still alive even though it's in water and all that stuff. But the movie here does an even more phenomenal job of a girl who is very righteous, and she sees this boy being taken to the back and doing what she felt was right. She went to go save him, but in doing so, it causes her to become one of the victims. Even though she saves the boy, she becomes the next victim of Afton. Reminds you of like Judas and Cain, and the way that she's being held up by the puppet as it rises. I found that way more compelling, and a lot cooler too that they try to flip the narrative on her, the classic Fredbear like style, that it was her at fault for going to the back and you know, messing with the animatronics. I found that really cool as the opening. And then diving into Mike and Abby, their stories were pretty good, to be honest. I did like their more brother-sister like relationship, and I found it really interesting how she's just really rebellious against Mike. Even though Mike is trying to do everything for the best, she does not accept it, and she doesn't really know about what happened to the first animatronics at the location. And doing so, she tries to go and find them, only to discover that they're no longer there, and it kind of leaves her with like mixed emotions. And she actually has one of the Fazbear speakers, leading her to eventually get a message from her friends. Only the thing is, the message isn't from her actual friends, but beings that are similar in a different location, which leads us to FNAF 2. Diving into FNAF 2, we're gonna have a big moment of reveal here, right here. Michael Afton, the Michael Afton, is actually the one in charge of the second location, and the one who actually leads said paranormal team that we talked about earlier to the location to free Charlotte, otherwise known as the Marionette. Talking about Mike Afton a little more, I found it really cool how they portrayed him more as like an evil guy. A lot of people did not like that in the reviews that I saw, but I thought it was a lot better, because for many who don't know, like in the game lore, Michael Afton kind of follows his father's footsteps, and it's really deeply believed in the theory. What I believe in the theory of Midnight Motorist is that he actually helps William Afton, bury said children in the mounts, and the one that you find is actually one that he actually knows about. And I like to go off that thought that he is just evil reincarnated in a second generation, whereas Vanessa wasn't really following in his footsteps. He wanted her to, but Michael's kind of like the child that really wanted to follow his footsteps. And I thought that was really cool, because he can be set up as a minor antagonist for even the third film if he does make a return. I made a little cool theory that I thought if he shows up like Hannibal Lecter in the movie, where he's like, oh, I need information, Mike's like, I need information, he goes to him for information. I thought that'd be really cool, because who knows the secrets of Afton more than Afton themselves? And I thought that would be a cool twist for the third movie. So if it happens, I called it. Diving more into the second location, you see some of the other animatronics there. You see stuff like Mangle, the toy animatronics. You see Balloon Boy and Girl. I thought that was really phenomenal how they did that. And the marionette, of course, the marionette. How can I forget that? I thought those scenes were all fantastic. So many cool scares and moments done there, especially the marionette. The marionette had some phenomenal horror scenes, like a lot of jump scares that actually got me, especially the beginning scene with McKenna Grace, when, spoiler again, that she gets taken over, and Vanessa comes and investigates said location later on. I found it so creepy the way that she was like going all about the walls and stuff. It reminded me a lot of Insidious, which is another Blumhouse production. Diving into more of the end of the movie now, it's very like predictable, which isn't a bad thing, but as people who like horror movies, people are going to tend to get thrown off by cliches and reounces of the same stuff. But I thought there was some great moments in there, especially the Mango car chase scene. The fact that they were able to get the animatronic on top of the car and have them dangling left and right without the actual like thing falling off or like being broken apart, you know. I bet it struggled a lot to get scenes like that. But then the ending, when more of the marionette controls them and basically sets them free into the world, I thought that was a cool thing, you know, they free roam. And Michael Afton shows up at the end with all three of them kind of being like in control in a way. It's kind of weird who's really in control, Michael or Charlotte. And the ending I thought was phenomenal though, because the fact that I called it right at the beginning, like right in the middle of the movie, I called it. I was like, man, if the old animatronics come out and fight the new ones, I'm all for it. It's like an endgame situation. I thought it would be the coolest way to do it, and they didn't. I actually had goosebumps when Foxy did his little dum 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 dum, and just straight up like hooked Freddy straight out the window, like very deviously, like some Batman stuff. I loved it. Really bittersweet end. I like the fact that they kind of like really set up for a third film, but it kind of felt very short, because like as soon as like all this is set up, like Michael Afton's caught, Charlotte's released from Abby, Mike just totally does not forgive Vanessa for not telling her about her other brother. I guess that's like something he must have had to know right away, like, oh, you had a crazy twin, like, well, not twin, but you had a crazy brother who's just like your father, please don't contact me no more. I thought that was just kind of a little silly, to be honest. It kind of reminds of like a lot of people are making memes of the Greg and Rowley from Diary of a Wimpy Kid, where it's like, don't call me, don't even show up at my house. I just found that hilarious because it's exactly like that. But yeah, then it really just sets up into the third movie. The puppet is still somewhat unleashed, and now that the older animatronics are no longer keeping said withered Springtrap in the old location, it sets up for a third film where the marionette might go after Afton, the original killer, and it seems like kind of like a kaiju type of situation where it could get really good if done right, which leads into the end credits. Detail, not only do they detail them some collectors coming to rummage through for an antique like attraction shop, it really sets up, because that's exactly how it happens in FNAF 3 with the audio logs of how some people just happen to find some old of the animatronic parts and they want to use them for their attraction. I thought that was really cool. And the ending, the final message is from Henry Emily himself, giving detail of his crimes and maybe even like a suicide note in a way. It's not really, I thought, even though it's not the best horror movie of the generation or even of its genre, it was still a pretty good adaptation of the game, and I felt like fans will enjoy it a lot more than critics will. But yeah, for me, I give it a solid 7.5. Nothing too impressive, nothing too like below. I went into it expecting what I did. Overall, really good movie. Definitely recommend it. Again, thank you guys for watching the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I don't really do movie reviews, but I thought with what I got, it was kind of cool to share off what I did. So yeah, definitely let me know what you thought about the movie below. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.